Financial scams have been on the rise, and if you're not careful, it could cause you to lose a lot of money and give you some major headaches at the same time. And so here this afternoon with some helpful tips to hopefully protect you or someone you love is money and business expert Derrick Kinney. Derrick, thanks for being with us this afternoon.
Oh, my pleasure, Jason.
This is a very important topic, and a lot of people don't realize how important until it actually affects them. So hopefully we can head that off and keep it from affecting some people this afternoon. First off, we keep hearing about one of these scams after another after another. Why is it, at least in your estimation, that we're seeing such an increase in the number of financial scams?
Well, one reason is because of artificial intelligence. And keep in mind, when you see a video or you hear a voice, it can sound very, very lifelike, like a person, making you wonder, is that really them? And so that's one way that AI is being used for bad. But also people are more upfront and open on social media. So if a person really wants to target someone, they can simply look at their Instagram or Facebook and begin to piece together the relationships of their families, which can then lead to them being a victim of a scam if they're not expecting it. And hopefully the tips we give today will put people, really prepare them that if they do get scammed, they're not going to be the ones to be the victim of it.
Yeah, because knowledge really is power, and it helps to head off a lot of this stuff. The first one, we're in the season right now for this one, and so we can expect a lot of people to be seeing this. It's known as the IRS impersonation scam. As we get into tax season, these kind of things always ramp up. Tell us how this one works, Derrick.
Yeah, very, very common. And what happens is an IRS agent will call you on the phone and tell you, look, you're behind on your taxes. You need to make an immediate payment. Here's a number to call, and here's who to send the money to. Now, here's what's wrong with that. First of all, the IRS typically never, ever calls anyone at home. They always send a letter first letting you know, here's what the issue is, here's what you owe. So again, what I would tell people is realize the IRS is probably not going to call you. Let them know, thanks for calling, give me your number, let me check this out, I will call you back, and then you'll probably hear click in the background.
That's such an important point too, Derrick, because so many of these agencies just don't contact you the way that these scammers do. But most of us don't deal with the IRS every day, and so we think, gosh, do they contact people this way? Do your homework, never commit to something, especially when, somebody's calling you on the phone or texting you or whatever there. Next, you say that grandparent scams can be especially costly. Plenty of people, have someone in their family that, maybe they've even tried to counsel and warn about these things, but these things can seem so real, especially to people who trust a lot. How do you protect yourself or a loved one from those, Derrick?
Well, grandparents love their grandkids, and so if they hear a call from their grandson or granddaughter, of course they're going to help. The problem is oftentimes that's a fake voice imitating their grandchild's voice. And so what I would encourage grandparents to do is, obviously, if this occurs to you, there's a very low likelihood it happens. Let them know, look, it sounds like a bad situation. Give me your number. Let me check in with a few other family members, and I will call you back and we'll figure this out. And again, you're likely going to hear click, or you're going to hear them prey on the person with panic. Listen, if you don't respond right now, this person's life is in jeopardy. We need you to make a decision right now. So one of the key aspects of the grandparent scam, Jason, is panic and getting you isolated so you can't talk to someone that you love to help figure this whole thing out.
Yeah, never do something when somebody's trying to pressure you for a decision. It always ends up with a bad ending there. Last, you say to not be a victim of the romance scam. These things still exist. These go way back in time, and they're still happening today. How do you avoid that one?
Yeah, there's not a new plot line on this movie, Jason, but the key is most of these are intentional, and typically what a person does is they tend to seek out someone of wealth or someone of status or just someone who is unsuspecting. They might be newly widowed and they're looking for companionship, and suddenly a man or woman comes into their life, sort of builds a relationship, and then the ask inevitably comes, hey, my relative is in a really bad situation. Could you lend me a couple $1,000s to give to them? And because of your new affection or possibly love for this person, you typically say yes or find a way to do it. And the moment that money hits the bank account, that romance or supposed romance has ended. And so the key here is that even when you're falling in love with someone or you really like someone, always keep the warning flag detectors up to say, would this be something that someone like this would do? And don't be afraid to ask a friend, hey, here's what this person did. Does that make sense to you? To make sure you're seeing this from the full vision.
Yeah, so many of these that you're talking about here too, Derrick, just have this double whammy with them. Not only are people out money, but they also lose trust and pride and dignity, because they got taken with a lot of these. And in this last case, they may have some real emotional feelings as well and just get burned like that. So it's really nasty on so many fronts. So thanks for the advice today, and kind of a warning for all of us to be vigilant about these things.
Yeah, my pleasure, Jason. Thank you.
Derrick Kinney, CEO of Good Money Framework. Thanks as always for being with us today.